All right, we've talked about this a couple of times in the new Congress. The House of Representatives, or the Republicans in the House of Representatives, are pushing once again for a vote on the Born Alive Abortion Survivors Protection Act, which makes sure newborn babies who survive attempted abortions get the same medical care as any other baby. Now, there's a discharge petition because Nancy Pelosi refused 80 times to bring this bill to the floor in the last Congress. There is a discharge petition, which if 218 members sign, it will automatically go to the House floor for a vote, despite Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats' opposition. Currently, the discharge petition has 209 signatures. Just 3 of the 212 Republicans have not yet signed, but they're expected to sign. That means we got to pick up a few Democrats to sign the discharge petition. One of the arguments that is often used, saying to dismiss this effort, we don't need it, never happens. Don't need it. Why are you making a problem out of something that doesn't exist? Well, it does exist. In fact, my next guest is a survivor of an abortion of twins. She was one that survived, and she is telling her story in a new book, Survivor, an abortion survivor's surprising story of choosing forgiveness and finding redemption. It comes out tomorrow. Joining me now is Claire Culwell. Claire, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, Claire, I want you to very quickly share your story. I don't want to give the book away because I know your story, and I know the book is great, but share with our listeners a sense of your story.
Well, thank you. I am adopted, and I grew up in an incredible home with parents who just raised me on love and grace and forgiveness. And my sister and I, my sister's also adopted, we knew that one day our birth mothers might become a part of our story. And we were excited about that possibility, but little did I know that meeting my birth mother at the age of 21 would come with the most shocking news, something that I had never thought about, never heard of until I heard my own story of survival. I sat across the room from my birth mother as she shared about being 13 years old and pregnant with me. And the tears that she cried as she described an abortion procedure, a D&E abortion procedure that dismembered my twin's body, that was meant to dismember mine if they had known about me, how it hurt her. And, during abortion procedures, ultrasound technology is not often used to guide the abortion procedure. And so I was undetected that day during that abortion procedure, but my body survived. Miraculously, the abortion instruments never touched my body. And I was born at 30 weeks, weighing 3 pounds. I had a dislocated hip and club feet, and I've had a lifetime of complications from my twinness, from the trauma from that abortion procedure. And so it was the most shocking moment of my life when I learned that the unborn baby was a human person like me, and that I had not only been unwanted and rejected, but I had actually been aborted. But I chose to forgive my birth mother that day and share my story so that people can see the humanity of the unborn baby and also the humanity of the abortion survivor as we talk about the Born Alive Act.
So you really had two things to forgive your mother. I mean, you had the sense of rejection of being given up for adoption, but you had no idea that there was an effort to abort you. You forgave your mother, but prior to that, you really weren't that engaged from a standpoint of public policy and the issue of abortion. How did that change for you?
I had never thought about the person who had been affected by abortion as being someone like me. I mean, I remember thinking the person who's been affected by abortion, the woman who's had an abortion, that will never be my story. And yet here I was meeting my birth mother for the first time and learning that that was my story. That was her story. And that meant that my entire family, including my children now, have been affected by abortion. And it opened opened my eyes. I began to meet other people because I was wondering, am I alone? Am I the only one who's been affected by abortion? Am I the only person who survived an actual abortion procedure? And over the next few years, I learned that I'm not alone, that there are women like my birth mother, hundreds of thousands of women who regret their abortion procedure, but there are also people like me, people who have survived abortion procedures walking the face of this earth, and they're living in our communities and they're in our families and our schools, et cetera. And so I developed a heart for what abortion is doing in our country. And if my name and my face and my story and my humanity can make a difference, I was willing to begin to speak up. And so I did, little by little. I have shared my testimony, and the response has been incredible as people are able to humanize the unborn child through the face and the name and the story of an abortion survivor like myself.
And I can assure you, Claire, you are making a difference. Your story is touching the hearts and minds of many people all across this country, and we thank you for sharing that story. Very quickly, where can people get a copy of your book?
Anywhere books are sold. I went by Barnes and Noble yesterday and they said they have them in the back ready. And so, yeah, you can find all the bookstores at claireculwell.com.
Very good. We'll encourage people to pick up a copy. Claire, good to talk with you. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much, Tony.